a bunch of fucking assholes. You know why? You don't have the guts to be what you want to be. You need people like me. You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy. Me, I don't have that part. Me, I always tell the truth. Even when I lie.
And we are live on the podcast about nothing. I want to shine a light on Combo's missing sister out of the DMV area. If you guys have any information, the number is on the screen. You can contact the DMV area police or somebody around with more information. We just want to shine a light on that. We have Mr. Alex Porter here and Polynificent Life here, and we're going to talk about Poly Talk, man. So let's get it. I don't know where Combo went, but oh, here you go.
Like this.
You're on mute,
Yeah,
Combo.
thank y'all for, if you do see my sister or anything like that, please give us a call. Thank you for putting that up, man. But right now, we're not here about that. I'm here to get some understanding, to be around people from the community and get some real communication, real conversation, and dialogue going about some real things that's going on in our life, in our community, and in our world. So, with that being said, John, go ahead.
Oh, John, go ahead. Well, good evening, everybody. I'm John. This is my wife, Shalana. We are 2/3 of Polynificent for Life. So yeah, we just recently went through a little change in our relationship dynamic. Our other partner was trying to get on with us, but I don't know if she was able to get the link or not in time. Say again?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm listening. Go ahead.
Oh, but yeah, we just here to talk about poly. We talk about what brought us into this lifestyle and our journey thus far, what we've been through, where we see ourselves going, and I don't know. It's been crazy so far. I want to say we've been in this lifestyle for about 8, going on 9 years. We've had a few relationships, but nothing that was ever really concrete. I don't know. Sometimes I guess, you get to a point where everything that you're putting in, you expect to get something back, that reciprocity, something that I brought up earlier before. And when you don't get that, I guess you determine whether or not it's time to make a change. And so up till now, we haven't really gotten that reciprocity, what we've put in as far as trying to build our tribe. So we just continue in the search.
Okay.
And it's just like any other relationship. I try not to stress too much on polygamy as if it's something so much different from monogamy, because at the end of the day, they're all just relationships. So you just have to navigate a little bit differently, especially if you're in a dynamic like ours, where it's one guy and multiple women. You got to take into account that you're dealing with different personalities and you got to treat them as such. But for the most part, I think it's been a pretty interesting journey. I don't have any regrets thus far.
Okay. And you said something.
I've had some hard lessons, but no regrets.
That makes sense, man. But what you said, you said this word, and this guy in the top right corner, Mr. Alex, has toned this. He's coined this phrase, and I want to get more into that. But Mr. Alex himself, can you introduce yourself, Mr. Non-monogamous? I go ahead, man.
I appreciate it. Yo, what's up with y'all? My name's Alex, from the Porter family. Been living a non-monogamous lifestyle for 8-9 years. Basically what that means, I'm single, married, divorced, happy, bachelor, with 4 women, maybe 5. I don't know. It's just, I'm living. Nah.
Wow.
Nah. People created to be whatever they wanted to be. But no, I've been educating this area in this space and trying to get the information really correct and bring more light to our community due to the fact we're trying to normalize this. I hate to use the word normalize, but at the end of the day, we got to call it spade a spade. It's something that's untraditional. You know, it's extraordinary love. And at the end of the day, this is what we need, more platforms like this, talking about the information, sharing the correct information so people can actually connect, gain, and learn of what they want to do because it's choice over default. But yeah, I'm glad to be in this space.
Yeah, that's dope, man. You know, one thing about the podcast about nothing, we're innovators, we're movers, we're shakers. We don't want to do the norm. We don't talk about the norm. And our followers, they know that, hey, we push that envelope. You know, listen, we've been hit with the YouTube Rico a few times, but we still here. You know, we still here. We still push it forward. Also, we have, let's see.
There she is.
There we go. Okay, go ahead, Miss.
Hey.
Go ahead. I'm gonna let you. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you introduce yourself, ma'am. Your partner's already there, so you go ahead.
Oh, hey y'all. I am Rashana Rickster. I am third part of Polynificent for Life. Hey babes.
Hey.
That's it, because elephant in the room is last time they was here was a different third part. So I'm gonna let that go. And, move
It
forward.
was. It was. But no, that's it.
She's actually familiar with the third part. Like we've known Rashana for a minute, and
That's
we were actually
her.
talking. Yeah, we were talking to Rashana.
That's her.
Yeah.
I love that. That's her. Yeah.
You be applying pressure. I see you. But also we have She Cute here, and we have Damo. Do y'all guys we have second introduce yourself, or you multitasking? 5, 4, 3, 2. Damo.
Hi, I'm Damo. Nice to meet you guys.
All right. Coop is actually working sitting on the link. Coop is the host of this show. Okay, yes. Let's pick someone to be the reader because I can't read well, right? So who's going to be the reader?
Oh, really?
No, I'm curious.
All right, 215. I'm Legend says hello. Raheem Bowie says hey everyone. Hey everybody. We had a few more before that. Just all saying thank you for coming through and starting out. So, Mr. Alex, you said you've been in this community for 8 years now, and you've been, if I'm not mistaken, you're married. You have your tribe fully together, correct?
Yeah, we're fully together. What do you want to elaborate on?
Okay. You know what? Go ahead and elaborate on that. Go ahead.
I mean, what do you want me to really touch on? I got it's me, Shalon Chantel. Of course, me and Chantel at times we fall off, we fall in, but overall we are just a family. I have 3 kids with my first wife, 1 kid with my second wife. I think the beautiful thing about non-monogamy is we try to figure out what's going to work for us to create life partners.
You're saying that word again. Can you put some context behind that word, non-monogamy? Because the JoJo who likes to have 4 girlfriends is non-monogamous. You know what I'm saying? But they don't know about each other. So what makes that? Explain that tone. Explain that.
I'm gonna only call it non-monogamy. I'm not gonna call it ethical because I don't call it monogamy ethical. You can still cheat in monogamy. You can still cheat in non-monogamy. I call it non-monogamy due to the fact that it's about a journey, not the destination. Shout out Joe from Poly by Nature. He said that. And non-monogamy is diverse, right? You have polygamy, you have polyamory, you have monogamous, you have open relationship, you have swinger, you have kink and BDSM. All those have different things that fall into non-monogamy, but they have a few things that are the alike. Consensual and ethical agreements. Whatever you create your relationship to be under that non-monogamy agreement, hey, let's go monogamous. When you go out of town, we're our hierarchical, we're our primary partners, but out of town, we're still free to be ourselves, but we can't bring that back home. That's still non-monogamous. It's not polyamorous, it's not polygamous, but it's still a consensual agreement amongst each other to actually have that space and allow each other to be who we are wherever we're at, right? But then you still have those that journey into polyamory, and then they don't really want the marriage because polygamy is strictly marriage based. Polygamy, many spouses, which falls under 2 things: polygyny, men with multiple wives; polyandry, women with multiple husbands. Polyamory has diversity to still not only have platonic relationships, you can just have romantic relationships. You can have sexual relationships. You create those relationships however you want it to be. But everything has its understanding. But the only thing that brings them all together is all those things that fall under non-monogamy are consensual and ethical agreements amongst all parties. That's why I use non-monogamy.
Okay, so hey, listen, for the record, I was doing like this. I'm from D, right? And when a person get to talking fast, doing all these type of things, you're gonna break it down. You sound like you from New York. The way you throwing all these words around, going all fast with the sticks. So, listen. I ain't gonna talk me out of out of my situation, out of my space. So, what are you really saying? Because you're saying you're non-monogamous, but non-monogamy can mean that you're kind of like swinging, or you have an open relationship. That you spoke about polygamy and marriage part of everything else. So once again, what exactly is where are you at in the lifestyle?
Where am I in the lifestyle?
Yeah.
See, my situation will fall under more or less polygamy, right? Because
okay.
I'm married. There's agreements, there's protection to the women that I'm with.
Mm-hmm.
But me, I hate the term, the stigma that gets attached to it, to where it's controlling and dictating, and my spouses can't see or do whatever. Now, mind you, they choose to still only deal with me, and we keep it polyfidelity. But one thing I do love to just create non-monogamy is due to the fact that I don't know where this journey is going to take me. I can sit here and say, man, it's just always going to be us three. There may be another person. I don't want to eliminate any options out there and try to dictate and just, create this box around my relationship. We were a triad at one point. We were all in a relationship together. Then it shifted. Then we became a V. And then, I was the hinge of that relationship. So in terms, we're going to use and stick terms to it. I went from polyamorous to polygamous. You see that transition in non-monogamy. You see swingers that decide to stop swinging and really dedicate to one partner, and then they go from swinger to polyamorous. Sometimes they even stay swingers because you can still have those stacked. You can be polyamorous and a swinger as well, but some just commit and let go of the swinger life and just commit to that one partner. So you don't know how it's going to play out for you in this journey. So I prefer myself to identify as non-monogamous because I don't want to tie myself to something. And then later down the line, somebody's like, well, I thought you were. At the end of the day, I am who I am, and I'm on a journey of honesty and truth and transparency with my partners. My partner's on that same journey with me, and we follow the non-monogamous rules. It just is what it is.
Okay. And then
I feel Alex on that, because even though we classify ourselves as a quad, like that's something that when me and Shalana first talked about this, that's what we decided to embark on, a male, female quad. Mm-hmm. But I've always wanted to have the mindset that I want to remain open, because if my partners shift at any point in time, I didn't want to give a bunch of resistance and then cause a bunch of static within our dynamic. Mm-hmm. So I hear what Alex is saying. It's good to remain fluid in these dynamics.
So let's, first of all, I'm gonna tip my hat to you gentlemen in these quads, because I did one that lasted me about a week. No many women, no many emotions, no many conversations. I needed more time to talk to the voices in my head, not all the other voices that was calling me. It was just too much. It was,
and that's the importance of understanding yourself, right?
Yeah.
Because some of us have quads, some of us have triads, some of us, their polycule could be endless. It could be diverse to so many different partners. And this is the important part of understanding bandwidth and capacity. Because if you don't have the bandwidth and the capacity to show up for every relationship, because when we're talking about anything, polygamy or polyamory, right? Because those are the two substance relationships in the non-monogamy that are not just circled around sex. Swinger, monogamous, open relationship, those are circled around sex. So when we talk about polygamy and polyamory, now polyamory can have some sexual relationships, but sometimes it's strictly the investment looks different to where you're really gaining and connecting with these individuals and putting a real investment into it. And when you got to put real investments emotionally, spiritually, physically, everything into these relationships with multiple individuals, you have to make sure you check yourself on the capacity, because sometimes we start to show up for ourselves, our children, probably a best friend or anything outside of that, just not only those 3-4 partners that we're dealing with. And now this is where someone feels inadequate. They don't feel validated. This is where you're slipping up because you felt it sounded good having 4 partners. Hold on.
Because you're hitting a lot of the things we're going to.
That's what I do, baby.
We here for this. You hear things that we're going to talk about, right? But before I move forward, I will say this. I respect that you acknowledge that there's other ways of poly. Me and John talks about this all the time. I'm a through, Also, if a woman wants to bring a man into our relationship, I'm not there to stop that progress. I'm not a bisexual man or anything like that. But if my queen finds another man that finds him worthy of being in our life, because when you're dealing with someone, they're not just in your life or her life, they're in y'all's life, because everything ties in. The energy, the relationship, the communication, the progress, everything ties in at some point in some place. So I'm was just in a situation where it was a male, female, male polycule. So we could get a little bit into that later on. But Miss Rashida, am I saying it correct?
Rashana.
Miss Rashana, because the name's not showing up there. It says, okay, 215, I'm Legend, says Alex always dropping gems. I can't see the name because that's up. But how long have you been in the community and the lifestyle?
I've been in the lifestyle, I've been poly for about 9.5 years.
Wow.
I've been bisexual for about over 18 years. So yeah.
Okay. And you guys already been there for 8 years. How did you guys meet? If you don't mind, since you have your partner here, I want to get some backstory on you guys. How did you guys meet? Did you throw
Tell the
Minnesota?
truth.
Off of
Tell the
Facebook.
truth.
We want to know, did you throw Minnesota in the trunk?
No, she threw herself in the trunk. But
Yeah.
no, they were already talking to her, so they were already with her. But when I met them off of a Facebook group, they were the only ones that I was interested in the group. So it just kind of led that to. But they said they wanted a quad. I was like, I'm still open for it. She just, just wasn't a part of this. So she's gone. But I'm here. That's all that matters.
Okay, so
But yeah, we made off a Facebook group.
okay,
So, which is
I'm
surprisingly so.
but that's okay, hey. But Holly, First Choice Hollywood says, "What's up, y'all?" Him and this lady Nikki, they might be joining us later on. But I'm sorry. But with that said, John and Lena, you guys been married how long?
Lana.
Sorry, Lana. I always call you sis, right? That's how you know I respect you, because I don't even need to know your full name to respect you, because you're him.
Understandable.
I'm sorry, but how long y'all been married?
18 and a half years is what he put out yesterday.
He whispered it in your ear, right? You had to get that right. The first few years of that, he was in the military, so it didn't count. Is that what happens?
No, he wasn't in the military when we first met.
Oh, wow. So 18 years outside in the streets, just you and him.
Yep, just me and him.
Yeah.
Well, no. So we got together in March of 2005, and we got married September that same year.
Damn, I feel bad for you to have a man that has memory like this. Arguments must suck. Arguments gotta suck.
Yeah. Well, I would say in the beginning,
Wednesday, 1:35 p.m.
But the whole poly journey, and this is kind of one of the reasons why I think I really started paying attention to Alex, because when I heard him tell his story, it was relative to ours. So our story, our journey started in infidelity. I stepped out, and I tried to turn a relationship into something with the woman that I had stepped out with. So I definitely went about it the wrong way. And that was one of the questions that I was going to ask you, Alex, was like, after that transpired, what kind of led you on the path of doing it the right way? Like, how was you able to focus and find the information that you needed to start walking in this lifestyle correctly?
After the damage I seen that I did to my family, right? Overall, the betrayal I did not only to Shwan, but also to my children. So when I took that in, I realized, okay, I'm having the ability to still try to work on it, because after, of course, we had our hectic moment at the beginning. It wasn't just, oh, we'll come bring her in and let's just join this and make this happen. Right. No, it was a lot of talks. It was a lot of discussions. It was a lot of, I think it was 4 years in till we had to sit down, right? Me and Shalon personally. I'm gonna revert back to the beginning too, but that I just want to kind of highlight on this part. When we had sit in the car and I said, yo, I know that you have your moments, but I think you haven't had your moment to give yourself grace. You try to find forgiveness in me. You know, you're trying to grieve of who I once was that you created in your mind in the future that you thought we were going to have together, but you haven't given yourself grace. Right. And I think, like, you know, she took that moment, of course, started bawling. Like, you know, we were having our heavy talks. But at the beginning, yeah, it had its challenges. She had to grieve who I was. She had to relearn who I am at that point. And I didn't want to fuck that up. I was here at that point with her to where she was given the opportunity to see what can be created from this. But I didn't want to be deceitful. I didn't want to do no more secrets. I wanted to be transparent. I wanted to be reassuring. I wanted to be, there was just moments to just vent. And I had to take that as a pincushion. And I took that because I knew what I caused already. So moving in that space, I knew it was challenging for me because now we're reestablishing and working on our relationship within the same time, trying to establish a relationship with the woman that also caused this with me. You know, so that was very challenging within its own. So when I'm talking about finding the studies that were needed, I think book one, if everybody really reflects and starts to read everything in it, that was me taking notes of all our challenges, of all our hiccups. And when we're creating a creature, we're creating a creature that's non-existent, but, you know, we have feelings and emotions we're not expressing. Those were the challenges I was seeing around the household. So I started journaling things just to reflect and kind of show up in the ways that I needed for each relationship. And there was so much time that I really had to just shut down because at the end of the day, it did become overwhelming for my capacity. But thank God all of us wanted to have those safe spaces to vent. Thank God all of us wanted to really make this work and choose that we want this for us. That's why even when the shift came and we went from a triad to a V, we knew how to hold those conversations, those spaces for each other to have the understanding of what we want to do because we're trying to create family overall. But yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy at all.
Yeah, it was rough for us too. I think I was really focusing on trying to force that situation and wasn't realizing how much damage I was causing to our marriage because we had already been married for a while up to that point. And so me trying to force that situation was tearing us apart. And the best thing that we did was probably just moving away from the area. So we left DC and moved down here. And but the thought of polygamy was still in my mind. So it was like, but it was baby steps at that point. I wasn't kind of like just we gonna be with this shit right here. You know what I'm saying? Like we was having discussions at that point, and kind of like setting boundaries and stuff like that. So it got a little better.
Yeah, and that's basically all it is, right? Because now you're gonna live in your truth and your honesty. I fucked up, right? We fucked up. We slipped up. Sometimes we don't know how to express it. We don't know how to communicate and be assertive with our communication, to be transparent with our partners. So at that moment, we move a little bit deceitful. We move a little bit disgraceful. And at the end of the day, if we get the opportunity, redemption, a moment of redemption, why not, make sure you have the integrity within yourself to hold it down? This woman is going to stand by your side and accept you for who you are and work through that issue with you to let go of that past, that pain, that betrayal, that you caused. Why not show up in every way that you can by giving the reassurance, giving the transparency, giving the understanding, giving the grace, giving the patience? It takes a lot of work, but it's possible.
It's that second chance.
Yeah. Well, that's a beautiful part about it. So now, when we reach our point, when it comes to communication, me and Shalon could have any type of discussion. Like even when I had separated from Chantel for that moment, I had told her I was going through different things if I wanted to date people, and she was like, yo, do it. We've been doing this. Go do it. I support that. Just let me know who they are. She wrote me a list of questions. Make sure whoever you're bringing in, what are they bringing to us? What are we seeking? She was really invested in the search for me. And I'm not going to lie to you. That's why I stumbled on the word ambiamorous. I realized my relationship did not need to define me. Yeah, I'm going to drop words. Ambiamorous is, I didn't need my relationship to define me. But at the end of the day, I just love whatever I am at that moment, if it's with one person or two people. So ambiamorous means you can either be in a monogamous relationship or a poly relationship, but the relationship doesn't define how you love. I was like, So we had rocked with each other for a minute, just solo.
I'm gonna call you thesaurus from now on out. Right? Like the vocabulary as host would say, you have a spectacular vernacular.
He an author, man.
Yeah, I'm an author,
Because
bro.
you can write a
He's an
book,
author.
means you can speak, right? I can smoke, but I can't smoke it. All right, but hey, listen, Max. Max says, what's the max number of people y'all would line up, and would the men include other men? If so, that's gay. Question mark. Question mark.
If so, is that gay?
Is that gay? Listen, DCPS. Shout out to DC Public Schools. We read only to find the small parts, right?
For me, I'm cool with where we at in terms of the dynamic that we seek. But like Alex said, you know, I never know what I might want 3 years from now, 5 years from now. So, but at that point, you know, I just feel like I just open up them lines of communication with my partners and go from there.
So
as far as a man,
so what's the max number?
well, right now it's just me, Shalana, and Shauna, and at some point there'll be a third woman. I'm good with that.
Okay, so they asked, what's the max number? What's the max number you're looking at that you will ever take on?
Again, I can't say. I don't want to be like, you don't want to put a cap on it because you might change at some point down the line. She might change. She might want 2 more partners after we in a quad. So you never know. And I'm not gonna be like, nah, this is it. We ain't bringing nobody. Because and then the other thing about it too.
Queen.
All them relationships aren't going to be the same. Some of them might be non-sexual. You know what I'm saying? So I never want to be like, no, you can't have another partner, or I don't want another partner, because you don't know what that person's going to bring into your life.
Yeah. Okay. And Queen, what do you think?
The max.
Yes.
Ahead of me. The max female partners.
I know. We didn't put it can be aliens for all I know.
I don't know. The max, it can't. I don't know if I can do over 4.
Okay. And Mr. Alex, you laughing. How many you talking?
Okay, now I gotta answer this in 2 different ways, and I'm gonna answer it 2 different ways. So I'm gonna give you the personal. I'm gonna give you the personal, and I gotta stay on my professional tip. You know, I am an educator on this. So my personal is I'm 2. That's my capacity. I'm a father. I'm a family man. 2 is where I'm at. You know what I mean? Because their relationship is very meaningful too. Like the relationship they established with themselves is very. You know, I'm not trying to shake up nothing. It took a lot of work to get us to where we're at this point, and I really leave it at just us. I'm happy and I'm satisfied.
Okay.
Now, the professional tip is you got to understand, this is where we got to talk about capacity and bandwidth. Some people have the capability to have up to 3, 4, or 5 partners, depending on how those situations or relationships look like. Right. Some people have people just for those romantic connections. Some people have those for those sexual connections, and some people have those connections that they want to create family with. So really, at the end of the day, that question is kind of, you know, depends the individual of where they're at and how much they can actually take in. But some people, how they want to create a relationship, they can take up to 10 partners if they want to. And it's very important to understand your capacity and your bandwidth.
Okay.
That's the profession. That's the profession.
And Queen, how many do you? What's your limit? What's your max limit?
Was that a question for me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was like, was that for me? For female partners, I really don't have. Yeah, female partners. I'm probably with the 4 too. That's probably my max.
Okay. And to answer it for myself, for me, no more than 2 more partners, unless it's one is a male, then it's 3 partners. And if it's a marriage relationship, I don't see it as gay, because me and him don't have to be fluid. We can be brothers in arms and make us happy. To answer that.
Yeah, I agree with that last part. I didn't comment on that, but I definitely don't see it as gay. At that point, if you're trying to build family, you know, you working as brothers, and you just trying to like make sure you build your family up.
Yeah, the idea that for me that hey, I can leave my queen and she be safe, and I can go ahead and take what I got to take care of for us to build and be in a better place, and then put her in a better place. Like you can't say that you serve a queen but not serve her fully. You can't serve her serve her to yourself. You belong to her. She something for you to treasure, for you to protect, something for you to provide for. So anything that you can do to get her more provisions, of course, you're supposed to do it. With that said, I don't want to go too much into me. We did have someone pop up. One of our sponsors showed up. Shout out to Money from the Demon Time Exotics, one of the sponsors. If you ever want to smoke the best from the east to the west, shout out demontimeexotics.com. Whatever you need, anything in between, no all flour, no seed. He'll get it straight to your door, and then have you sleeping on the floor, or maybe dancing all night. Whatever you like. But hey, shout out to Demon Time
Bars.
Also, shout out to the On Everything podcast, for coming through. We see you. Hey, we spoke about this earlier. The boxing section, the #1 YouTube podcast on boxing. The Boxing Voices is good, but the boxing section is the choice. No one better, no one in between. Every round, every punch. If you want to get broken down by experts and understand it, and you just want to talk that good shit, go to the boxing section on YouTube. All right. Also, we just had someone join the panel. Shout out to Lo. Lo, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm excited.
All right. Mental says shop Demon Time. Okay. So now let's get into it. Let's go because you have your situation in the house, right? What is it like? People want to know what does a day-to-day look like for a man with 2 women?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Both of y'all go ahead.
Oh,
I mean, yeah, that's Alex right now. Right now, it's just me and Shalana here. Rashana is in another state, so I'm not dealing with that right now. So I'm gonna be hitting them up though when I am dealing with that issue.
Yeah. So for you, what is a day-to-day in the house with kids? Like, what does that look like?
Well, we only have the one kid, Soraya, the 3-year-old at the moment. But beforehand, when it was my oldest, I mean, it was a relief. I ain't gonna lie to you. You have 3 adults, three people that could take on all responsibilities in the household. I could be at work or I could be traveling for branding or whatever. The household got 2 women back at home. One's helping with the kids if they have homework or need to get picked up from high school, and one, cooking. It is what it is. You operate better. You don't have so much to put on your plate and have to rush to certain things. When it, me and Shalom were monogamous for 17 years before we converted to non-monogamy. There was times we couldn't make certain things and certain events after school, because it was just me and her. We still had to take on the responsibilities, work because bills still come. When another person got added to the relationship, yeah, we did all have that free flow into where Chantel would pick up the kids possibly if I couldn't get to them, so it was great to operate as a team. That's the importance of having a system. Once we create a system behind who's going to do what and who's going to take care of what, I mean, it's wonderful. Everybody get a clean cook, sit at the same time, have Sunday dinner, whatever it is, whatever you want it to be. But yeah, more people, more hands on the work. I mean, less work for yourself.
Yeah, that's definitely what we're looking for. I mean, Shalana being biromantic has nothing to do with her wanting a partner. Well, it don't have everything to do with her wanting a partner. What you just described is one of the main reasons why she wants a partner. It's like somebody that's going to come in and help her, and not just want to come in and do like all the kinds of perverted sexual things. I'm down with the perverted sexual things, but we definitely want to build. We definitely want to build a strong family unit where nobody feels pressured. Everything's not falling on one person's shoulders. And you're a very busy guy. She's busy. She running 2 businesses, working full time, still coming home, cooking, cleaning, sharing time with me. So to be able to break that up and be able to have time just for herself would be beautiful. So yeah, we look forward to the day when there's another woman able to bounce things off of.
Facts. I mean, I think it was so dope. I had this poly leader meeting, right? And then one of the questions in that course from one of the students, they had asked, they were like, how was it, with the new child? How did that schedule look? Was it harder, since having 2 women or whatever? I said no. When I had my first children with my first wife, there was a lot of us just circulating. When my second wife was pregnant, and we were going through that transition, it was like if I wasn't there to catch it, Shalon was there to catch it. She was like, almost like a, what is it called, doulas, like a doula. She was on deck with everything. Then when Sarai was officially born, man, let me tell you, sleep, we weren't missing the beat. I stayed up till midnight. Then one person woke up, they'll come in 2, 3 in the morning, they'll hold it down 4 or 5 in the morning. The next person, I'm back up by 7, 6, 7 in the morning. Like it's 3 people, so you're putting everything to rotation with more hands on everything. It makes things more simpler, and nobody was forced into these positions. So like, I want to be clear. I want to clear that at the end of the day, like some nights I'm cooking. Maybe I'm cleaning. Maybe one other person's cooking. Everybody just finds a natural flow of who's doing what. Someone finds a meal, we put it in the group chat. Well, I'm gonna cook this. Okay, well, I'll help you. And I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. And it's so good because a lot of times I know people feel like, well, everybody has to play a role. No, if you organically let that relationship be, people are gonna find where they could fit in. And it just is what it is. And I think we just let that flow happen and we know how to let things go with us. But yeah, bro, it's amazing. I ain't gonna lie, it's amazing.
There's a couple questions in the comments also.
That's weird. So it says, so the other girls would be your wife or girlfriend, but another guy wouldn't be your husband. No,
So I think
I'm gonna give a professional answer to this. I'm gonna let y'all answer this. I'm gonna give a professional
I'm
answer
gonna answer that. Max, no, he wouldn't be my boyfriend. He would be my brother, right? Because you have fluid and non-fluid relationships. I will respect him as the king that he is. I will be his brother. I will be his supporter. I will be his helping hand. But I will not be in the bed with that man. That's what you're asking. Okay?
You don't want,
that's just my
play tummy sticks. Now let's go back to the professional. Now, is there possibilities of polycules actually having where the men are husbands to each other? Yes. You do have situations in those dynamics that where the women, shout out Passion Jones, both her men are bisexual. So both her men are also each other's boyfriends. And they are the boyfriend of her. One is her husband and one is her boyfriend. So they do have those dynamics out there. When we talk about non-monogamy, it's not structured behind anything or one thing. So at the end of the day, you could have a woman with 2 boyfriends that are boyfriends to each other, a woman that has 2 men that are husbands to each other, a man that has 2 women that are girlfriends to each other, sister wives, however, or they could be heterosexual and the man could be brother husbands. It really depends on what you're seeking. Now, in these particular dynamics, myself, John, Cabo, no, the women, no one's trying to be the husbands with no other man or anything like that. But there is a term called meta. Now, at the end of the day, if one partner does get another partner and they are not engaged in no type of romantic situation or not, anything with them, that is their meta. Some people don't like meta, but at the end of the day, that's just the term for it. So, but no one's forced into a husband concept if that's not their sexual preference.
Great answer. I'm sorry.
There's one question that I saw
that question was good too.
Yeah, I definitely want to get to that. What's there was a question there. It says, "What is bi-romantic?"
Romantic. Yeah, that question.
Yeah.
So it's a difference. So I think some women get that confused with being bisexual and bi-romantic. So in my opinion, bisexual is just a woman that likes to sleep around with other women, engage in the sexual aspects of it. Bi-romantic, in my opinion, is where you have a woman that is just as much as into a man as they are in a woman. They want the cuddling, the hand holding, the intimacy part, cuddling in the bed, the pillow talk. Everything is basically the same in bi-romantic as it is with a man. Versus just being bisexual. I do feel like a lot of people get that confused. It is very important to know which one you are first when you are seeking a relationship.
Now, are you all sexually involved? Is that an element that's not there? Because it sounds like there's more of an intimacy factor than a sexual factor.
In both, you could be sexual.
Okay.
One, like sexual is more leaning toward just the sexual aspect. There's not too much of a relationship as it is with the bi-romantic.
Got it. Okay, what's Max talking about? Any concern with the children being exposed to the lifestyle?
Hell yeah.
Any concerns of the children being exposed to the lifestyle? What do you tell them about?
I don't have any concerns. All our kids are pretty much grown. Our youngest is 17. We were live on TikTok yesterday, and my oldest daughter actually joined the live and answered questions. I think kids today are exposed to way more than we think they are. So to try to hide stuff from them would kind of, it's futile. There's no point to it. So, I mean, the same way we are straight up with one another, we try to be straight up with our children.
I have a question. And I guess more specific to you guys, because it looks like you all are a couple and you all are seeking someone. If the person were interested in you guys but did not want to have a romantic or sexual relationship with either of you, would that be something y'all could, I guess, incorporate in your situation? Because it would be more interest in one person, seems like.
So, like, maybe you're saying like a heterosexual woman being interested in joining. Okay.
Right. They would be interested in the aspect of the partnership and all that good stuff, but I'm not sexually attracted to a woman, but I don't mind the romantic aspect, but I just would not want to be sexual with a woman.
I want to say we kind of dealt with that before. I want to say we did kind of deal with that. It was interesting, mainly because
feel free to drop her name.
I don't name drop.
I was just like, what?
I don't name drop. Yeah, we did deal with that, but it was a little bit more interesting because it kind of, for that particular situation, it left it where another partner wasn't well received for me to be fully fulfilled, but they didn't want another person to come in, but they were okay with how things were. So it's kind of like I would say lopsided, because John was getting fulfilled in most of his needs because of the type of person that she was. Depending on our circumstances, I would say it may not be bad, but it have to be the mindset of the woman. Definitely have to know the mindset of the woman, because with experience, most of those women tend to lean more of not really wanting what we want, and it solely becomes doing everything to support and be with him versus building that whole dynamic.
So let me translate. They want to come in, get what they want to get from me, and not really add anything of value to the overall relationship, i.e. sex, dates, trips, etc.
Okay. So, with that said, can someone read this message for me? I'm obviously reading impaired.
All right. It says, if you had or have a daughter and she comes home saying her dude wanted multiple women, would you feel like she's being played, or would you support her boyfriend's decision?
I mean, the fact that he said something to her up front, I would definitely take that into consideration. Me personally, though, because of the type of guy I am, I mean, I'm going to talk to the dude. That's just me, though. I wouldn't be against it. How can I be against it if I'm in this lifestyle?
All right. So y'all, let's get y'all real quick. I don't know if it's just my feedback in it, but you guys' signal is breaking up. I'm not sure if anyone else can hear that.
I'm getting that too.
Yeah, it's glitching.
I will give a quick answer, which is funny. My niece, my niece, her husband and her want to travel down the poly life. And a lot of the family feel like he then dragged her into Islam and used Islam to drag her into having multiple wives. Me personally, at first I was like, no, I don't like it. But then I had to think about it and say, damn, I'm doing it. Like, this is someone's daughter, this is someone's niece, and someone's sister that I'm trying to go down this journey with. and I asked her and I spoke to her, and which I think a lot of people don't see is that the women who are in this lifestyle actually have more control that you could even imagine. They're all in. It's the women 9 times out of 10 that says, "Hey, I want this." And when my niece said,
and look, just to play devil's advocate, would you even take a second to think it over if it was your son?
well, I'll answer that. But
If it was your son,
I'm gonna go back to that question because I'm gonna break that
yeah,
full
when my
question
niece
down real
told
quick.
me that,
I'm
hey,
letting Combo answer. Go back to that
but
question.
when my niece said that, hey, yes, I want me a wife. I want someone to help clean with these kids, to be good with me. Like, you know what I'm saying? All that stupid stuff. I was like, okay, you know what? It's too much. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to be too much of your personal life, but I respect that young man enough to know that that young man is a king, a full-fledged king that deserves 2 queens. And the way that he treats my niece, why would I say any other person doesn't deserve anything less? Now, what you was going to say, Alex?
So I want to break that question down because I love that question. That question gets asked a lot in a lot of interviews. At the end of the day, how would I feel? I have 3 daughters. How would I feel if my daughter wanted to go ahead and say that she's going to join a relationship with a man that's going to share her with other women? Well, first of all, as parents, we want to make sure that we give our children the right tools to make the right decisions for their own life. As parents, we don't have the power to dictate or control the choices of our children. The only thing that we could trust is the things that we put in that they could go ahead and apply in themselves and the tools to maneuver in the spaces in this world. So if she would come up to me and ask me that question, I'm gonna support her choice and how it's needed. But at the end of the day, of course, I am, just like John said, gonna meet the young man myself. I can't tell her anything of how she needs to do and the choices she needs to make. I need to trust that I did what I need to do as a father so she can make her choices herself. That's one thing. The second thing is we could convert that question. What if your daughter gets married to a serial cheater, a serial abuser, an emotional abuser, a manipulator, a gaslighter? And this is why I said it's about the tools that you apply to your children to make sure they make the correct choices, to know that the red flags are the red flags and when to walk away, that they stand on their boundaries. Now, the question will come back to you as a father. Did you raise your child right enough to make the right choices for themselves? It's not about the relationship that they choose. It's about the decisions that you made as a father to show them the way of what they need for their own life. I like that question, but I think people like to ask the loaded question, not realize it's not my choice. Yeah. My child, once they're 18, most of us when we're at the age of 13, we're already making our own choice. You know what I mean? What are you doing at your friend's house? I'm gonna just stay over there. You know, his mama going, and then next thing you know, you at the party. So we can't dictate anything that we're doing. And the one thing you never want to do is be a helicopter parent and hold a child as a spring. Because when you add that pressure as a spring, once they're let go, they bounce everywhere. So you want to gradually let it go, be transparent with your child, know what's going on, and give the information that they need, not the judgment.
Bars.
But yeah, next question. That was a good question though. I ain't gonna knock it. I just get that question a lot, but you know, it just is what it is.
Many creative questions out there for sure. Yeah, for sure.
There's many creative questions. Hey, shout out to the poly couple next door, man. They be doing their thing.
Oh yeah.
They be doing their thing too. So I'm gonna ask y'all a question, right? You know, what challenges have y'all faced so far, especially being long distance, right? How do you feel being long distance outside of that relationship, and then how time is really available? I mean, you have a primary partner at home, then you have to make sure you make the time. How do you get creative with your dates and time when you divide it? That's for you, John. I'm asking you.
That's for me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's gonna go around the room. It's gonna look at Lana like what?
Biggest challenges probably is long distance. Just trying to get on the same page, trying to find that rhythm, trying to find each other's schedules to see where you could fit in. That's probably the biggest thing, but I'm gonna be real transparent. I think the biggest obstacle that we faced, and this is a perfect place to talk about it. The biggest obstacle that we faced thus far was something that we encountered a few weeks ago, where because we're long distance, when we all came together as a quad for the first time, we really didn't, in my opinion, make the most of that time that we had together. So that was a big deal for me because it was like, we don't always get these opportunities. Me and Shalana see each other every day, but every day we're spending time together. We're taking advantage of every single moment we have. So for me, when I bring somebody from Texas and somebody from Georgia to one location for us to spend 4 or 5 days together, I'm expecting it to be more intimate. You know what I'm saying? More really trying to get to know one another on a deeper level. And I don't think we took advantage of that opportunity that we had. So that was actually the catalyst that kind of led to us not being with one of our partners, because when I brought that up, you know, it just kind of cascaded and yeah, it went south quick. But for me, and that's a love language for me, quality time and physical touch. If the time for us to spend together is there and we're not doing that, I take that to heart. So, but I will say that's probably something that I got to be more vocal about up front, and letting my partners know that, hey, this, when it comes to these things, I need you to be on your A game. So that's why I'm kind of like trying to be open-minded to the point where it's like, okay, well, some of these things are forgivable because you just didn't know the extent of how important that was to me. It's easier for Shalana because she's got 18 years in the game. So it's a little different. But thus far, that's been the biggest challenge, really, is just being able to take advantage of the time that we have together, because we don't stay in the same state. We all have busy schedules.
Okay.
So when we get that time, most of
So with one being long distance, how you get how do y'all get creative with how to spend time with each other?
Creative? I don't know. Really, it's just a lot of video chats. And to be honest with you, Shalana's more of the video chat, texting, talking on the phone. That's kind of not really my thing. And again, I think that's why that time that we spent at the beach, I had a bigger expectation than what occurred, because I'm not really into the video chatting like that. I'm not really into texting and talking all day.
Hold on. I'm gonna tell y'all. Your statement was not giving what needs to be given. So I'm gonna ask Miss Dunlap the second, no disrespect, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna ask you this question. How long do y'all wait before phone sex? Because you said y'all doing long distance. You know what I'm saying? How long did it take for the first phone sex session? We gonna get nasty in this here.
Phone sex.
I was like, phone sex. I mean, it was interesting how we first started talking. So
oh, I like your sister.
So for me, actually, just in general, it was an interesting dynamic for me when I started talking to them, because I normally seek out the woman first. That has always been my thing. Okay. So when I started talking to John first, it was, okay, this is cool. So the chemistry was there off top. But that's not because it was just, he's just great to talk to. Like, he is just that person. So for the phone sex, I don't really do phone sex too much, but it did get heated, I guess you could say. But my thing, it was just a weird dynamic at first, when I first got into it. So phone sex wasn't really a thing at first for me. We just had steamy conversations, but we did that in the group as a whole. So it had nothing to really do with just personal.
Got weird with it. The whole group of phone sex.
No, it was just a group of asking questions and things. So
thank
yeah,
God it's not the 90s, because that phone bills would have been high as a motherfucker.
And I had asked you that question, John, only due to the fact, so Shawan was out of town for a minute, right? And I had Shawan, Chantel in town. So I knew, since I still had to give that quality time and still show up in the ways that I needed, I used to go on, like, she'll go to a restaurant, 7 o'clock here. This time where she was at, it was 6 o'clock, an hour behind. So it'd be like, okay, well, let's create these dates. So like that, it still felt like we're getting those personal, intimate times by ourselves, even FaceTiming, her on the mill on the other end, wherever the hell she was at, me where I was at. Because I when we come to these relationships, the investment into the relationship is the quality time, as you said. Being long distance, I use the word creative because we have to get creative behind this. I had a friend of mine. He used to play card games with his girlfriend, with his long distance girlfriend. You know, just to have that time, like if they're in the same room. So I was seeing that what was the creativity behind that, because you know I know it takes a lot of work when a person is long distance.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
long distance, but sometimes you get together, right? And when you get together, somebody has to be the caboose. So, like Mex says, how do the partners decide who's going to be the caboose? Because I would assume people would not want sloppy seconds or thirds.
Okay.
Come on now, don't all speak at once.
I didn't understand the context of that question.
So he if y'all are fucking, who gets to get the dick first? Who gets to get the pussy first? You know what I'm saying? How do you choose who do you penetrate first? How do you choose who you pleasure first? How do you choose who you're intimate with first? For me, to answer that question, it's about energy, right? All my queens have different energy. So when I'm in a polycule, whoever one may not be on that same wavelength at that moment. It may be me and someone else, or it may not be me at all. It may just be them too. And I allow them to enjoy and have their moment, because sex isn't about a moment of conquering, but sex is about a moment of changing energy, exchanging pleasure, and having moments of memory and value. And there isn't a caboose, because no matter what you do or what my woman do to each other, it all belongs to me. And no matter what I do to another woman or to our woman, it all belongs to the other woman as well. Because while they have the individual relationships, we all have our own relationship together. So we all belong to each other. We all protect each other. We all provide for each other, and we all secure each other from here on to the end. But go ahead.
Well, me personally, I'm just a spontaneous type. Shalana's a planner, so just to give you a quick example, when we did have our beach trip, you know, Shalana pulled the women to the side and kind of worked out a schedule of, you know, who would spend time with me on what night. And I mean, they all agreed to it. Everybody was happy with it, as far as I know. But outside of that, I'm just more spontaneous, you know.
I mean, for the beach trip, I know the reason why I did that is because it was all of our first time being together. And we hadn't had a chance to see whose energy was gonna be over the top, or somebody like, oh, he didn't touch me today. You know, just to kind of kill all of that. Just be like, okay, let's split up the night. You know, everybody gets a whole night, you know, with the king by themselves. Just to kind of eliminate that. So that's kind of why I thought about that.
Okay.
That's
way. Dope.
And it
That's dope.
Work.
And anyone else? Alex?
You
blushing.
I get the caboose. Everybody get the caboose. I mean, shit, we get the end of shit. They can start at the beginning. They will start fucking each other. I'm joining in. I mean, at the end of the day, we fucking. I mean, who gets the intel shit? Sometimes I'm a voyeur too. Sometimes it depends on kink too. If you're a voyeur, sometimes you want to sit back and watch. I ain't got to join. You know, I'll join at the right moment. You know,
I can't lie to you. My first quad, every man thinks he has enough dick to satisfy the world. My first quad, I was like, I what? Y'all keep the bed. I'm going to the living room, play PlayStation. This is stupid. I can't keep doing this. I didn't work out enough for this shit here. My heart ain't
I'm not doing
this.
that. Nah, negative. I'm not doing that. No, if I let off, I get in there, I get rejuvenate, I get clever with it. I'm learning toys. I'm touching bodies.
I had to learn all that, and Gatorade, stretching, electrolytes, all that. You know, I don't need all that in my life. You know, I like steaks and whiskey. So keep me out of trouble. Anything over 3 is too much for me.
I mean, hey, there's foreplay and there's post play, and I'm with post play too. Shit, I'm not leaving that room.
I listen. I ain't gonna lie. I got about that room. I walked my ass in the living room, and I had a nice comfy nap. I gave it my best shot. I gave it an old Harvard try, but I ain't that guy.
and to answer that question,
Oh
It's
yeah,
really,
bring that
it's
question
really,
back
it's really
up,
the
Mr. Say
growing.
Less. Actually, that is my nephew, who I was speaking about with Mr. Say Less, who says, why is it that in some southern states, are more acceptable to poly than other states? Could be a personal opinion.
I don't think that it's acceptable in other states, but it is more popularized. I mean, here in Houston, we do have a good community, a good sized community, and Atlanta has a good sized community. I've done shows in New York. I have had great turnouts that were part of the poly community. So it just really, at the end of the day, is really finding who's there with it and connecting with them and putting yourself in the right places. But I mean, all states are kind of acceptable with it, but also at the same time, some are not. It just is what it is at the end of the day. But yeah, find those communities, find those places to connect with others that think like you, and really, grow that. But a lot of times, you do find yourself in long distance relationships or situations because it's 50 states. We're not gonna all be in one area. You know what I mean? And we're still a small community as we grow, but we're still a small community at the end of the day.
I mean, I think half the citizens in Texas are poly, for real. I get more matches from women in Texas than any other state.
Bro, Houston is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. When I separated from my second wife, start dating. I think at one point I was talking to like 6 women. I was very overwhelmed. I was like, damn, and it was crazy. Now, mind you, these are monogamous women. These women were monogamous, and they said I was a non-monogamous man, and were okay with it due to the fact of the transparency and honesty I was presenting. Because they felt that they deal with men that play them anyway, but they really respected the honesty, the transparency behind it. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Here in Houston, it's bananas. We got fine, beautiful sisters.
Okay.
Sisters in Houston.
Yeah, Houston sounds like the place I need to be at, right? Now, the next question I have, let's pivot a little bit, right? We're gonna take a spin off, but all of us are men who want to have multiple queens that we can love. But with loving comes protecting. And we know that the black woman is the most unprotected queens on this planet. How do you, as a king of a black woman or two or multiple, protect them?
Well, for me, I think it comes down to understanding individually. And when you and I talked earlier, I kind of mentioned this, and this was one of the things that I said that I needed to get better at with Shalana, because, when I fall off the horse, I get back on and immediately start, I'm gone. I don't gallop, I don't trot, I'm gone, right? But I had to realize that I'm not protecting Shalana's emotional and mental state, because I'm just thrusting her into like the next relationship. So I realized I gotta get to a point where I give her some breathing room and allow her to come to me and say when she's ready to jump out there again and swim out in the deep waters. But because the physical aspect, yeah, I think that comes natural to all of us. All of us are like, I think by nature, just natural protectors. So we're gonna always fight for our women. But it was the realizing the emotional part that I wasn't doing. So and that just came to me like a day or two ago. So and as far as with Shauna, yeah, I'm just still getting to know her. So I gotta figure that out too.
Okay. Now what about, physical threats and listen, when you're a king, you walking down the street and you have 2 beautiful queens on your side, that risk level raises, right? That level of probability raises. And some men may say, hey, I don't mind being poly, but I don't know if I can protect 2 women out here in this world in a physical manner, right? Because it comes with a certain level of accountability and self-awareness.
You better find some queens that can throw hands then.
So you expecting your queens to throw with you?
Nah, we just call it out. But that right there, that part of the character just depends on the individuals. I mean, I've been in situations, minor, ain't really nothing. I get where you're going with it, because one time we was at the club and then Shalon and Chantel were dancing together, and then a brother had came up and I had to let him know, like, yo, because he was trying to grab one. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, man, we got into an, verbal altercation at first, and he was like, you think you gonna disrespect me? I'm like, who the fuck you talking to? Of course, it escalated from that point. So yeah, at the end of the day, it's just really it's just character of who you are. You know what I mean? You demand respect, you gonna get respect. You know,
There you go.
but at the end of the day, some people aren't built like that, and some people find themselves in situations as they just, it's not them. It's just history. But I get what you said, because it is possible when you have multiple beautiful women with you, of course, someone gonna try. You know what I mean? But that's more personal character trait. If you about that business, they're gonna handle that business. If they don't, it is what it is. But I'm gonna ask a question on top of that, right? And this goes for everybody in the room, all of y'all, right? Well,
yeah,
everybody. How do you protect your partner from yourself? And this is to everybody.
That's what I was literally just about to ask that. Lo, are you there?
It goes around the room.
Anybody who's there?
Everybody.
How do you protect your partner from yourself? I guess while y'all thinking about it, I'll give you a quick answer. Me personally, I have checkpoints for myself. I do a lot of self reevaluation. I know this may sound crazy, but it's two sides of me, right? It's a side that's just I acquired through survival, and there's a side that I acquired through life. And I know that maybe the side that I acquired through survival may not be good for the life that I live. So when dealing with my partner, I check myself at the door. I say, am I talking to her as combo, or am I talking to her as Juan? Because my queen only deserves Juan. She don't need to know rough, rugged. She don't need to know anything, and not even just that. She don't even my wants, my desire to be with other women, my desire to be a conqueror, my desire to be aggressive, my ego needs to be checked at the door, because this queen deserves more than what I'm offering as that individual, and the fact that she deserves the benefit of the doubt. So I do my best to self check, and like I always say, the hardest thing to look at is yourself, because that's why we need a mirror. You don't see yourself the way you think you is. You look at that mirror, you're like, oh shit, I'm wrinkled. Oh shit, this don't look right. Oh shit, hold on. You know what I'm saying? That's why we have mirrors. So I put myself in that mirror and I say, this is what I need to do to protect the woman that I love from me. Who's next? Don't all go at once.
John, Lana, I'm asking y'all too.
John, Lana, Laura, who? Hey, listen.
And I'm not talking about physical. I'm not talking about physical at all. I'm talking about, how do you protect your partner? Because a lot of times we don't think about
that. For me, I think I'm gonna say the space that me and Shalana created, where, and I just posted this. Your folks ate at the table. One of the videos that I've seen, I reposted today, and it was talking about how men aren't allowed to really speak their truths without a woman getting catching feelings about whatever it is that you said. And I'm paraphrasing, but I feel like with Shalana, the space that we created is a lot more conducive for us to be able to go to one another and voice our displeasure or opinions about certain things. It ain't always been like that, but we've actually seen the progression. There's times where she's come to me about things that 2 years ago, 5 years ago, she wouldn't have, and vice versa. So I think that protection is surrounded in that little bubble that we have, that little circle that we have, where we can step inside and talk about things that are pretty hard to talk about on any other, platform. But, we have that space that we created to where we can go to one another and talk in confidence and not feel like we're going to get butt by the other person.
That's your answer? You done?
That's my answer. Go ahead.
I'm a little different. So, like he said, I can talk to him about just about everything now. So I use him as my checkpoint, because when women are sensitive, we get in our feelings more. I could just be like, you burnt the pancakes, and then she got a whole attitude. The whole house is tight. So I'll ask him hey, so this is the issue. This is what I'm thinking about. This is what I said. Read this. How does it sound? and he'll guide me through like, hey, yeah, take this word out or replace it with this word. So I kind of use John as far as me protecting our female partners from me, because yeah, I can be a whole, what you call me, an AK-47. I just that, and they're like oh my god, and they're crying. So I try to go to him first, just to kind of fluff it up a little bit and make things a little bit more pleasurable to the ear, to the eyes when I'm talking and texting. So that's how I protect my partners. Is that correct? Okay.
I support that. I like it. I don't know if anyone else was saying. So I know we got. I can't see the names. The thing at the bottom.
Yeah, I can't see names either. It's like, Bonnet. Are we doing this? We doing this live by ourselves? Like, where everybody at?
Yeah. We here low. You there? All right, let's go ahead and keep talking, man. We here. Let me clear everything up real quick. But y'all keep going, because I'm liking this conversation. I'm liking this conversation, like where this is going. And
Everybody want to know about the bedroom.
I don't want to be too nasty. Say it again.
No, she said everybody want to know about the bedroom. I mean, that's
and I'm trying to keep away from that, right? I'm trying to keep away from that, but I know Alex, I know John, y'all, I know y'all understand that as a it gets all people care about is the sex when it comes to poly. They swear up and down that poly is about someone trying to have multiple partners and trying to have their way, and that you a cheater who can't have one person, and like, oh my God, I wasn't trying to go this route, but it seems like we got to go this route. So with that said, we have one queen up here because y'all other queens left. So I'm gonna ask you this quick question. I'm gonna ask Alex this question to speak for his queens. Do you feel like the women are forced into this lifestyle?
No.
I mean, it's choice over default, right? I think at the end of the day, you gotta understand, why are we choosing monogamy? Did you choose monogamy within yourself and that choice that you wanted to make for yourself? A lot of times it's the default, it's traditional, it's taught within our parents that we have to go and choose only monogamy. We're not educated what non-monogamy looks like. People don't understand there's different forms of non-monogamy that may work within your relationship. People don't understand that there's room for evolving in this situation. And when we say non-monogamy, just because I have the freedom to have multiple partners doesn't mean I'm reckless with that behavior and that freedom. That means I have to show up with integrity and hold my responsibility if I want to do that and be transparent with my partner, still respecting my partner, what I'm doing, how I'm maneuvering. Can you be reckless? Yes. Is there, to go back to the sex part, if everybody wants to know about the sex part, is there a lot of fucking, because a lot of people be like, and like, oh no, we don't, it ain't about the sex. Yes, we fucking. I hate when people try to shy away. If I have 4 partners, you think what the fuck? I'm playing card games all day? I'm not playing card games all day. I'm a nasty nigga. I'm eating pussy from the back. Like, what are we talking about? Like, what? Bro, I'm sorry, man. I gotta clear this shit up. I gotta clear this shit up because we try to act like, oh no, it ain't about the sex. It ain't about the sex, and that is absolutely right. But the sex is a motherfucking bonus. It just is what it is. But I'm also showing up outside that bedroom for every relationship. I'm actually giving into every relationship because this woman is choosing to be with me, knowing that I have other women, knowing that I'm living my life open and honest and transparent with her, knowing I'm going to show up to make sure she doesn't feel emotionally invalidated, emotionally inadequate, or an absent, and I'm just looking at a relationship, just none the other, right? Because you could be in a monogamous relationship for 15 years, but that doesn't mean the relationship has been for 15 years. It could have ended 10 years ago because you left her emotionally invalid. You made her emotionally invalidated, emotionally inadequate. She felt invisible. She didn't feel special. So we're actually showing up because these women are choosing to accept us for who we are for themselves. So yeah, man. But yeah, there's a lot of fucking. Everybody want to know about the sex? We fucking. I'm fucking. I don't know. We fucking.
How many times a week? How many times a week are you fucking? That's what they want to know.
And is it nasty? Yeah, let me go ahead and knock everything off real quick. Is it nasty if we having threesomes for 2 years consistently? Like, I'm a little bent. I'm bent and I'm tired. But what's call it? Was I having threesomes consistently? Yes, I was having so many threesomes. We had threesomes on the steps. We had threesomes on the couch. Hell, I had threesomes at my job. It just is what it is. We're going to experience it because we are creating life and experiences for each other. I hate that we try to, sugarcoat this shit because, oh man, we don't want to make it that. Yes, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of fucking. If there's only 2 people, I hope you don't get boring with your fucking. I don't know what to tell you. Get creative with it, because when there's multiple people, we getting creative with it. If you want to bite on that, bite on that. But let's stop talking about what goes on in the bedroom, because the bedroom is not really nothing. It does happen, but it's about what's outside of the bedroom to make that long lasting. This is superficial. This is meaningful. What are you going to create at the end of the day?
And then getting into the meaningful, right? Getting to the meat and the potatoes. A lot of people are using poly now as a way to get an income, as a way to have sustainable income, especially with the inflation, the community, and the world, and the pay-per-view prices of these fights. So, what do you say about that?
Yeah, of course. Come on, man. This is hot. Right now we're in the transition of being poly is like being the new rapper coming out. Everybody want to be poly. Everybody shows up with multiple partners, put no investment, and actually give no. They don't work through the struggles and the challenges. They just instantly know they're going off a new relationship energy, the high energy of what it is, and then they want to create a page. They fall in love with how it looks. Oh my God, there's 3 of us. I'm bisexual. I get to experience multiple people and have my choice. And I get to do this, and now I look good because I have a man, I have a woman, the man has 2 women. We're all like, oh my God, this is what it is. Nigga, I had headaches. You know what I mean? I always tell people, the first 3 years, if I see somebody post something and I ask them one question, how long have y'all been together? It's 6 months. Don't tell me nothing. I need 3 years. The first 3 years, most do not make it out of. Because the first 3 years, you're going through so many different transitions, so many triggers, and figuring out so much to try to build that foundation and understanding that you may not make it out that 3 years. But you're so caught up on your relationship energy and trying to create and making it simple and trying to create it because it looks good, that some people that you see in the public eye, they've only stayed together because they've been in the public eye. I'm not trying to do that. I did that one time. I ain't gonna hold y'all. I did that at the beginning. Man, we were bad. We were chaotic. And at the end of the day, once the relationship separated, once we died down from the media, we were able to focus on what the hell are we trying to do really? What are we really? And that's why I try to take control of what I do with my life, especially being in the public eye. But yeah, no, it's a hype. Everybody want to be a star. Everybody want to be famous, and everybody loves a new wave. It's horrible.
Yeah.
My bad. Y'all got me a little. Yeah, I drink like 3 cups, so I'm in this.
You want to answer that?
A new partner.
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of they came in, we introduced them. I mean, a lot of times the introductions are kind of informal because, again, most of the people we've dated were long distance. So it's like just talking on the phone. A lot of times if I'm video chatting, one of the kids, of course, they got to walk by when you're on the phone, no matter if you're talking verbally or on video chat. And I was like, hey, since you're all in my screen, hey, such and such, this is whoever I'm talking to at the time. And then that's how I kind of do introductions to my children. The hardest thing I would say is not the introductions. It's more so when a new person meets one of my children and I got to be like, hey, yeah, so that person you said hey to, and they came past the house, we're no longer talking to them. I think that's more hard to explain, the in and out. But when I do explain that portion of it, it's kind of like, well, it's the same thing as when you're dating. You date a person, male or female, and it don't work out. Hey, you on to the next one, or you take your time to heal and then you start talking to the next person. It's basically the same thing. It's just more adults added into the mix. And we got crickets.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you want to add anything on that?
No, that was perfect.
That was perfect.
That was perfect. That was
Alex,
precise. That was perfect. Yeah, that was perfect. I love that you took to do it yourself. The one thing we don't want to do with these right here have so much information for children these days. You don't want that information to get in their hands instead of us explaining it ourselves. So yeah, it's just something that you have to actually go with them. I love that you actually take the initiative to do it. I mean, how do you explain sex to a child? How do you explain? Like, it's just, we had to sit them down. We had to be expressive with them. So, I mean, yeah. And it's not a bad lifestyle. It's not, you know,
Yeah.
more parents in the household. But that was a wonderful answer. That's why I said,
Bro, when you think about it, if I could have grew up and had like multiple moms in my house, man, oh my God, that would have been dope. That would have been dope.
And that's what my children get, right? My children get that. Like I look, even when Shalon's not available, they got Chantel. They make sure Chantel, again, I want people to understand at the beginning when it was expressing my children, there was one thing I told both Chantel and my children. I told my children when they asked who is she, I said, well, she's with us in a relationship, but at the end of the day, I can't tell you who she's going to be to you. I told Chantel, I can't tell my children, oh, this is stepmom. This is a mother role. No, you have to create that in an organic way of how you're going to show up and what they look at you as. So, you know, throughout the years and the relationship that they get, that's mom. Even when we separated, let me get my mic. These children betrayed their father and was still talking to them when I said, she don't belong here no more. Nah, I'm playing. I didn't do all that. But no, but they still kept a relationship with her. That was their stepmom. That it don't matter. They would send her pictures. They would keep updates with her because she took that role, and those are her children. And even what's crazy, Chantel's mother took my children with Shalon as her own grandchildren too. That's G Mama. That's their G Mama over there. And then same thing with Soraya. Soraya looks at Shalon. That's her Lonnie. That's her bonus mom. And then Shalon's mom, she lives with us too. That's her Wawa. That's her grandma. So it's so dope that these children have such an expanded family. You know what I mean? And it works so well. And it's, you know, people don't really realize the benefit of the love and the unity and community that you create when you do this lifestyle.
That's a perfect example of the type of tribes that we used to have. Like you said before, like it's not that this ain't nothing new, this lifestyle. So people treat it like it's something new to jump onto, but it's like we've been living like this for a number of years. It's just like the way that it's I guess the way that it's put out there now is glorified in more of a sexual way. So it's not really focused on like it once was. It's more about the sexual aspects than it is the family aspects now. Yeah. Because like if we ran into a situation like that, that would be perfect for our kids. Our kids are without how many grandparents and great grands? Like they got her parents and then my mom, and that's it. They don't have no more grands.
And when you bring someone else, they take in more family, more support, more community. I mean, and that's what everything should be about, right? We have to learn how to support each other. I think if we don't, the Asians. I love how Dr. Umar has said, you know, every big city has a Chinatown. They understand community. They understand how to look out for each other. When it comes to us, the one thing that I love about the non-monogamous community, and this is why I make sure I do my job, and whatever anybody needs help with, we create together, is because we're actually taking the initiative, knowing that there ain't many of us to support each other and always be a helping hand or a listening ear. A lot of us don't have that in our lives. So that's one thing I had to say. When the takeaway, the people I've been connecting with and you know, growing relationships with in this community has been phenomenal. It's dope. A lot of people were being expressive with our challenges. Hell, how many men do you know are going around there and speaking to each other and say, man, look, I fucked up when I cheated. How do I talk to my wife? How do I fix this? Hey, I'm having, I'm taking in a lot of stress. There ain't even a lot of distance for men to actually express with each other. There ain't spaces for sisters to express, the women to express each other. But we're bringing community together and finding support systems because this world is tough. And with non-monogamy, being transparent and being vulnerable, we find each other being vulnerable with each other with complete strength. I ain't met you, John, not the lick of my life, but you know, I know we live the same lifestyle. I know we still talk and we support each other. So when you hit me, I be vulnerable. I'm gonna put everything out there. You put everything out there because we know we're going through those same challenges, and a lot of people aren't open like that. Right. So that's what's so dope about non-monogamy, that we know to make certain relationships work, not only the romantic and sexual relationships work, but the platonics that we're trying to grow, it takes vulnerability and connection in that sense of knowing, yo, bro, I got you. That shit, yo. But that's, I don't know. We can talk more. I can ask questions. I know Combo said I think he said, you know, he's on the call. So I'm gonna ask y'all a question, right? Y'all said y'all was monogamous for 18 years?
Well, no, we were monogamous for
15?
no. We've been together. We've been together 18 years, period. 18 and a half years. And of those 18 and a half years, we were married 18. So we started this poly journey probably around year 10.
Right. Oh, okay. Lana, I'm gonna ask you this question. How was that transition for you? Be honest. I'll be honest about Shalon. I pulled Shalon in the living room. How was that transition for you? Let's get to it.
So I would say in the very beginning, when he very first brought it to me, I was like every other woman. Yeah, get that out of here. We ain't doing that. You crazy. Just going off.
Especially because of how it was done.
Yeah, how it's done. And then when we moved here, I still had that same kind of
you still had reservations. Yeah.
So it actually took my mom, my dad, my sister, and her 3 kids. We were all living in this house, plus our kids. I think, was it 4 of them or 5?
Like 5.
I think 5 of our kids was living here. So we were all here. So
it's like 13 people in this damn house.
Yeah. So at that point, I was working 2 jobs. And I would have to cook, clean. Like, I'm cleaning. All these other people in here, I'm doing all the cooking. I'm doing all the cleaning. If I had a day off early, they're like, well, what we eating for dinner? Are we cooking on a grill? And I'm just like, wait a minute. Well, why am I'm working 2 jobs? Everybody else works their 1 job. They come in, they chilling, they doing whatever they do. Like, no one's preparing a meal. So, like, everyone can eat. There was a lot of separate meals being cooked, or somebody would clean the area that they're staying in. So at the point I came to job, I was like, you know what? Explain to me again about this whole poly thing. Like, break it down to me. And I started looking and going into groups. I joined a lot of female groups for women trying to get into poly, women that are poly, and just different variations of it. And I had to do my own studying, and as well as talk to him. And we talked about it, and I seen like other women talking about their experiences and how things are going. I was like, well, that don't sound half bad. I'm just like, I got a whole house full of people. No one's helping do anything. Nobody's helping pay no bills, nothing. So I'm just like, if we're going to live in a community and, I do like a house full of people, especially when they're all working together. I said, let's give it a try. Now, I said, let's give it a try. But what I didn't know is all of the other emotions and feelings that was going to come into that. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't know if I might have bit off more than I can chew. This woman over here, that woman over there. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't really know. So that was something else that I had to learn and also get more knowledge on, learn myself, and just learn some things about my own self. And once those things, I started giving it a chance and being more open-minded, I learned a lot about him. I learned about myself. I learned about women. I learned what I do and what he don't like. I'm like, oh, dang, I did that. You stand that. And then just knowing that, like, dang, I do that too. And I have to come to him like, yes, I know I do this, and this. I learned that. And I'm just like, I'm sorry. Let me change that.
Bro, it'd be so funny now. He'll post stuff on Instagram sounding like a dude, like men, I understand now. Like, yeah, you get it. Right? You get it. You see what I've been going through.
Yeah, I love that. That's one of the experiences you actually get with everything. I had asked Shalon one time, yo, I'm gonna answer. It's mixed. He's funny. Yo, it's mixed. If you get the link to join this chat, I really wish you could join this chat because I'm tired of talking to your text. I don't know if y'all caught that with the shout out to the men who cheated and redefine boundaries. Honestly, when you're transparent and you're honest with somebody, cheating could be a possibility. You don't know what's gonna happen with a long-term relationship or any alterations and challenges that happen. Mm-hmm. You probably don't have a woman. You probably don't have nothing. I mean, shit, obviously you're on here talking crazy. But if you want to join the chat so we can have a real discussion instead of the texting, the thumping, I would really love it. Capo or Cooper, you can send them the link. I would love that. But no, to sit there and add to y'all's thing, right? There was one thing that Shalon had said, right? She had told me, she was like, I had to learn. She went through her emotional challenges, right? And I was like, well, what brought you kind of to a centerpiece? And she was like, I had to learn that I'm accepting you and your choices of what you want to do, as you have to accept me and my choices too, what I want to do as well. And I also learned that my value is not in your hands. My value is in me and not your choices. I was like, God damn. Mm-hmm. I kind of felt the way because I was like, no, you should feel good if I tell you looking. Nah, I'm playing. no, but she was like, I had to learn. I had to stop letting that dictate me. She was like, damn, you want to do this? Are you loving me? Are you really? She was like, my value is within me, not with what you do. And if I support and unconditionally accept you, that's what it is at the end of the day. So she's same process. Like she still had to go through emotions that we all do because emotions are unavoidable. So that was actually kind of cool. Yeah, look, I'm going to hold this because I'm going to interview you guys on my page, on my Instagram page. So I'll have way more questions. Just know, I have this system, right? I dig deep, so just make sure you're ready with it. But yeah, I know Cabo said he had to go. Hey, what's up? You should be enjoying each other.
Content got an emergency going on. This been a great conversation, man. John and Lena, I believe that's your name, right? I appreciate y'all for
Lana.
coming back, man, and being with us again. We didn't there need to make this a series or something because I love y'all insight on the poly situation.
We with
I don't
it.
know if that's my audio messed up or not. Yeah, but I want to read these last few comments to y'all, and then we're gonna end because I know he wanted to keep it kind of short so we can cut it up in clips and stuff. So
Okay.
Nighthawk 06 wanted to know, how are the household chores decided? Is there any tension around holidays about who cooks? I don't know if you already answered that. Nicole Nelson said, "Hey family," and Caitlin Lockett said, "Y'all should just be enjoying each other. You shouldn't think like who gets to go first." So yeah, damn, my service is bad right here. Yeah, my service is bad right here.
House is divided. That's all communication. Some people like to cook, some people don't. Some people are better at cleaning. So it's just a matter of having a conversation and deciding who's going to do what and go from there. It's never like a big deal, really. When you think about it, if one person can clean their own house, then 3 or 4 people shouldn't have no problem sharing those same responsibilities.
All right, and I
But if you
also
do,
got to
then it's a
give
problem.
Mr. Alex Porter his props for coming in and stepping into a small platform like mine and giving game on certain situations. I appreciate you for that.
I appreciate you for having me, brother. This is not a small platform. Everything is grown, bro. I appreciate being here and actually having the extended invite to being on here. I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, man. What did he say? What should you initiate or introduce poly into a relationship?
That's your brother.
Oh,
I was gonna let y'all answer. I'll come with the
what's up, big little bro? When should you introduce it? When your relationship is secure, when your foundation is sound and strong, that's when. When you've reached the level within your relationship where there's transparency, there's trust, because you don't want to bring nobody into a situation that's unstable.
So from the beginning of your relationship, like, should you tell your partner, like, hey, yo, I'm interested in the poly lifestyle, um, so you don't spring it up on, like, from a woman's standpoint, would you like him to tell you from the beginning or, ease you into it?
That's a good question, because like even now, even in like dating, I always wonder, okay, when do I tell this person that I'm married and I'm polyamorous? So I don't know, that's a good question. I try to be as transparent as possible with people.
I had asked that question when I was doing my dating, right? And I was like, I asked the community, I was like, yo, when should you do it? And they were instantly like, date one. Sometimes some of them were like, yo, you said instantly when you start talking to them, like you interested in them, hey, I'm a non-monogamous man, or I live poly, whatever, just so they know. They were like, date one. But as when should you tell them if you're already in a relationship? whenever you like, I love what John said. I mean, I'm gonna underscore that. Like, I'm gonna highlight what he said, because that's very important. When you feel like at the end of the day, your relationship, because you're not trying to fix your relationship through poly, you're just trying to really just add people to your poly situation and relationship. So I support what he said.
Hey.
Oh, and to answer does everybody live together? Yes. Have all experienced jealousy, and if so, have you done what have you done to manage it? I'm gonna let y'all go ahead.
Yeah, I've definitely been there. See, a lot of people think that because Shalana likes women that I can't get jealous, like, because it's not a guy that she's dealing with. But yeah, there's times I get jealous because I think the first time, and I think the first show we did with y'all, I talked about this. It was the first time that we had a sexual encounter with somebody we was dating, and I mean, that thing had me feeling some kind of way, because just to see somebody get my spouse to react in a way, you know what I'm saying? It almost, I fell back. I ain't even gonna front. I was like, well, damn, like, I got to step my game up, because I don't know if I ever made Shalana do all of that right there. And this was a woman. So, yeah, jealousy actually happened, but, you know, you talk about it. That's all.
Thanks. I support that. I agree. Yeah. I had jealous moments. And you said, hell yeah. To this day. Nah, I don't have jealous moments to this day. But I don't have to have it. Right? You can't stop jealousy. We never know what's going to trigger that. But it's to regulate and navigate through that, right? At the end of the day. But yeah, of course, man. Yeah, and just how you said, just with another woman, I used to get hell yeah jealous with Shalana Chantel when fuck that. What we doing over here? Why you never did that? Yeah, I never shared it with nobody, because I wasn't gonna go to work. Like, after I calmed down, and I was like, did I really bug out on that shit? But I ain't give a fuck at that moment. Nah, fuck that. You never did that before.
Right.
Yeah, you just never know what it is. It's about learning how to regulate and navigate through those emotions.
I always say I'm way too jealous and selfish for that.
That's my
I don't
boo
want
right
to share
there.
you.
Yo, shout out Miss Moon. She in the building. Yo, shout out her. I'm at work. I would definitely jump on a couple. Okay, follow me on Porter Family, right? Because we're gonna have a conversation. I would love to have you on. Just pick your mind a little bit of what you feel and what you're gaining from this conversation. You know, and any questions you have. But yeah, make sure you follow me. PORTAH Family.
I have a
I always
question.
tell S Mex to start his own podcast, because he's ridiculous at times. Mizzle, what
you got
say?
a question?
So I have a question. So when you guys are like interested in someone, and you guys tell them that, hey, I'm poly, or I have a wife, or whatever, like, what's normally the response? Like, are they curious, or are they like, oh hell no, like, no? Or are they like,
I mean, all of the above. So my strategy is a little different. I don't know what Alex does, but because we date together, I typically don't even go the route of talking to heterosexual women. Now, there's times where heterosexual women might try to talk to me, but when they do, I immediately let them know I'm poly. My wife and I date together. She's bisexual. And if they're not down with that, then it's, see you later.
mm-hmm.
But if they're open to that, even if they have never been down none of them roles before, but they've been curious, and at that point I gotta go back to Shalana and be like, yeah, she she's new to this, she's new to that, and I gotta let her make that decision, because a lot of women that are bisexual, they don't like dealing with newbies. But yeah, I just go from there.
The response I was getting, and it was from monogamous women, even heterosexual women. They were with it. They were cool with it. I mean, you could Google my name and it instantly came up. That was the first initial thing that they would do. Now I'd be like, oh yeah, just to let you know, I am non-monogamous. I am an educator, whatever. What you mean? I'll be like, I mean, you can Google me and she'll put my name in and everything will pop up. And she'll, oh shit. So I was like, nah, it's because most people are gonna instantly think that that's bullshit. You just trying to be out there and cheat. Yo, I live with my baby moms and we ain't together. She my roomie,
right?
But
right.
So it's dope. It's
You
like,
tell a girl that, she instantly turned off.
Yeah,
I live with my baby mama, but we not together.
We roomies.
Right.
We roomies.
We sleep in different rooms.
These bills is crazy, son.
Yeah.
But no. So it was pretty received well. Like
So
I
I know in the swinger community, the upside down pineapple is the symbol that we with the swinger shit. So there a poly symbol.
there is a poly symbol. There's a poly flag. It's
It's
actually
a,
a
I
poly.
believe it's
There's
a
a
heart with
polyamorous
an
flag.
infinity symbol.
Mm-hmm. A heart with
Okay.
the infinity symbol. How did y'all find each other? Oh yeah, no, it's all respect. It's mixed. I just that, but that's not how all of the poly situations actually happen. So, so it's just find ourselves in those situations, they convert. But it ain't that people rearrange on boundaries. At the end of the day, when you get to know somebody and learn somebody, it's either your choice to either accept them unconditionally and place them where you need to place them in life. If some choose to keep that person around and create something with them, then at the end of the day, that's on them. It's not that we're just reshifting boundaries or anything like that. It's understanding, because at the end of the day, there could be a constant cheater. He could tell you whatever it is, and she could still stick around him thinking that he's monogamous, but he's still cheating or she's still cheating. Let's not only put it on one gender. So to have that ability to sit there and say, you're going to be transparent, but I have these expectations now because I'm going to have these desires of you being transparent, you being honest, you reassuring me, it looks a little different. Like I said at the beginning, my wife had to grieve who I once was or the idea of me because I moved deceitful. It's different things when you put into placement and you're recreating that relationship. Some people still decide to say they want monogamy and be dishonest and keep that person around. So it ain't congratulations of shifting boundaries. It's congratulations because we took the risk and just said, at the end of the day, I don't want to disrespect this person. I'm going to put it in their place to still choose to be with me. And I'm going to just be honest. Hopefully they can forgive me and find the grace in their heart. And if they do, I'm not going to fuck it up. Simple. Let me put it in layman terms. Oh, I'll let y'all answer this one.
How did you all find y'all person? So Shauna, I met in a Facebook group, and I can't name drop the other one because we're not together anymore, and Shauna will probably beat me up after this is over. But I met her on TikTok actually. So I mean, that's the thing too. Is like a lot of people think that because you poly that you only can meet people in specific places. You meet people everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You meet people at the grocery store. It don't like just wherever.
Mm-hmm. Dead ass.
As long as the interests
Okay.
are the same.
Well, I want y'all to shout out. I want y'all to shout out to our socials, so everybody know where to find you at, so they can continue these conversations with you. And once again, I want to let y'all know I really appreciate y'all for coming on and being so open with us. I'm gonna end it at this mark so we can get some good clips out of it.
Oh, definitely.
That's what's up.
My joint is right here, right there. Oh, I don't know what the damn camera is. It's right there somewhere, wherever. Oh, boom, Porter Family, PORTAH family. That's YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google. Do it. You're gonna find me. You know what it is. And I want everybody to take out of this conversation. It's a choice over default. Don't become a prisoner of someone else's concept of love, family, or relationships.
Boom. And we're at Polynificent for Life right there on the screen on Instagram. Ooh. I guess we got cut short. Oh, there it is. Polynificent for Life on Instagram. Righteous Thwack on IG and TikTok. That's Thwack, THWACK. You gonna plug your? Oh yeah, follow Shalana at LanaAllure.com too.
Oh yeah.
She is she has a jewelry boutique and a spa. You can find her on social media at Lana Allure.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we still
I
see
see.
y'all.
Okay.
Yeah, he just put it on like to put it on your
I'm just seeing these chats over here first time. You got
what's it? Cakes on Becca on TikTok and Clover Life on Instagram. I think that was the two.
Yep. So yeah, we appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all inviting us back. We're very happy that Alex was able to join us and come through with the knowledge as usual. That was a real treat for me. But yeah, anytime y'all want us back, just hit us up. And Alex, we be ready, man. Whenever you want to do that interview, we be ready.
Oh, we doing it. We doing it. We might do it this Sunday. Look, we might do it this Sunday. I gotta get promoted. But I don't know if I want to do it before the T.S. Madison interview or I want to